Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Wednesday, the 8th of July.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda.
They're the cornerstone of tomorrow's Rwanda, and we find out what they've been up to.
Young Rwandan innovators and entrepreneurs win big at this year's ELE Awards.
And flips, kicks, and pyramids galore, we chat with Rwanda's premier acrobat troupe.
Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Makeda Mahario.
And me, Regis Isheja, and over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports, and business headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are here in studio. You guys are looking nice. I like the look
Always
here.
look nice.
All right, Fidelis, what's happening in the world of the money?
Well, in the money today, I get to attend the ELE Awards and I have a special report on that, so you get to know everyone who's
All your
good
reports
stuff.
are special at this point.
I'm just a special person.
Yes, you
Always
are.
look nice and you're very special.
Absolutely. Arnold, what do you have in the world of sports?
Of course, saving the best for last. And we look at Wimbledon, the Serena Venus-Williams rivalry.
Yeah.
Formula One over the weekend, we didn't talk about that. Lewis Hamilton just pulled away, and then we dig into APR's preparations for the Sekafa Kagame Cup.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry.
Oh, by the way, Mayweather was stripped off his belt. That
Yes,
one against
yes.
Pacquiao.
She might be interested in that.
I love when there's drama.
Drop anywhere.
Okay, well, definitely all that and more is still to come. But first, Rise and Shine story of the day.
Should financial institutions be more flexible with young entrepreneurs? That is the topic of the hour on the minds of Kigali's shapers as they gathered recently for Tkumve Tkumve, an initiative aimed at empowering Rwandans through ideas and dialogue. With the future of the country laying in their hands, young Rwandan entrepreneurs feel like it's time for banks and the likes to be less traditional. Take a look.
We really have a business advisory council that these are the people we really believe, even they have running businesses.
The Global Shapers community is a network of hubs founded and led by young people who are exceptional in their potential, their achievements, and their drive to make a contribution to their communities. Its mission is to empower the youth through the spread of ideas and dialogues.
What they are doing is they're just picking up people whom they think can provide advice to the shepherds out here, the young entrepreneurs and others from a diverse spectrum of businesses. They are young people who would like to share ideas in the world, help improve especially young entrepreneurs, develop their businesses and contribute basically to the economic development of the country. So that is the way the Global Shapers came up.
The Shapers have been selected based on their leadership capacity that have impacted and benefited communities around the country.
To be a shaper, you just have to be exceptional. We have guys in the public sector, guys in Minafet, we've got guys in the Ministry of Gender, we've got guys in the Ministry of Infrastructure, but then we also have entrepreneurs. We have people who are into literature. What kickstarted it was the founder of the World Economic Forum, Professor Schwab, felt that young people were not being heard. He realized that at the annual meetings in Geneva, in Davos, young people were not being heard. He came with the help of some people from his team. He came up with the Global Shapers community. And the whole point of the Global Shapers community is to give young people a voice.
I really want to understand how you're doing things differently and why did you come and open in Rwanda? What added value I bring to the ecosystem?
This time around, they want to make sure that financial institutions are more flexible with young entrepreneurs.
There's a lot of opportunities out here. Government has invested heavily in infrastructure. One of these financial infrastructure, of course, is BDF. where we can provide them with credit guarantees. We can invest directly in their businesses through our venture capital fund. We can provide advice, and through all these facilities that are in place, we can help them to grow their businesses.
Great things to look forward to. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
If you decided to change your idea and do something else, do you still have the potential to grow that as well?
And joining me in studio now is Louise Umutoni, Vice Curator of the Kigali Global Shapers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, now, the Kigali, tell us a little bit about the history of the Shapers movement. How did it start? I know it has something to do with a very known international organization. Tell us about it.
Okay, so the Kigali Global Shapers is part of the Global Shapers Network, which is an offshoot of the World Economic Forum. So it was actually created by the World Economic Forum to bring together young, passionate, driven people who are passionate about shaping their communities. So essentially it's been in place here in Rwanda for about 3 years. It was initially curated by Diana Mpisi, and there have been a few curators after that.
Now, how does it work for one to become a shaper? Is there, do you have to like cross certain dots? Is there certain things you have to have accomplished in your professional career? How does it work?
So it's based on, nomination basis. So a shaper will nominate someone else that they think are already influencing the community or that, that are very active in the community. And just based on that, this is the criteria. It's a shaper selecting someone who's already doing something in the community.
All right, now tell us about Twebwe. I really like that whole, it's very dynamic, the dialogues, the exchanges. What does it bring to the table when you're a shaper and you get to understand, what others have been through and how you're trying to build the country together? How does it work?
Okay, so every shaper's community, so there's a community in every city in most of the developing countries. So every one of those Shapers hubs are tasked with putting together a project or two. And in Rwanda, our project is Tkumve. So I'll probably have to correct you there. It's actually
right.
Tkumve, which means, well, loosely translated is we listen to you and you listen to us. So with this particular forum, what we do is we try to discuss topics that we think are affecting young people in our communities, and the idea is dialogue. We want to discuss these things, and essentially we try to get some people that might understand these topics, give them a platform to discuss this.
Now tell me about some of the topics you guys have addressed so far and the impacts of you guys addressing them. What has it changed in the society?
Yeah, so one, I'll probably refer to the most recent one, which was about, the banking sector and if they should be more flexible when it comes to young entrepreneurs. This was something that affected a lot of young entrepreneurs, looking for financing. What does that look like? I'm sure you know that about 80% of the businesses that are started every year, fail,
right.
By the end of the year. So the idea is, can there be enough financing that's, more flexible that allows young people to, sort of at least survive a little bit longer? So, we had CEO of BDF, Innocent Bulindi,
right.
And he was able to sort of, can I say spell it out, give us the tough pill to swallow, where he stated that we have to figure out ways to make ourselves more investor worthy as opposed to, we would like you to give us money because we're struggling here and there.
Right.
He actually said we need to set ourselves up in such a way that we are more investor worthy.
Now, do you feel like the youth is credible enough when it comes to financial institutions? Because banks have a very traditional way of dealing with potential clients, especially the youth, because you haven't really proven anything. Do you think there's something the youth can do or that the bank should be doing to change that?
Well, he did mention that there was actually a few programs here and there to support youth, but he also did talk about other financing opportunities, venture capital opportunities. For example, Ra Capital is one of those that would, that's looking to support young entrepreneurs. So his idea was, why don't you look at these other alternative sources for funding as opposed to getting a loan and having, a certain period of time to pay it back with high interest rates. So his advice was actually very useful. They're a banking sector. They can't particularly change the way that they work. So the idea is to look at alternative financing opportunities.
Right, they've been working like that for a long time. Now, when it comes to other cities, are you just going to stick to Kigali because it's Kigali Global Shapers, Or are we going elsewhere as well?
Well, the idea is to go to Huye, at least this year. It's advisable to have a Shapers community, at least in every city or town
Right.
in the country. We're starting with Huye because there's a huge university community there, and we believe there are young people who are passionate as well about influencing their communities. So we want to reach out to them. Essentially, we'll start with those and then look at going to the northern province eventually.
All right, Louise.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you on the show. I've been hunting you down for a while. I hope you'll be back very soon.
Well, you'll have to invite me.
You guys are doing a great job. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
All right, you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. We'll be right back after the break.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwanda and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time for the business news. Fidelis Karangwa has the details.
The cost of cargo transport and other logistical support services could reduce following the signing of a deal between the government and DHL Express. Under the deal, DHL Express will invest over 2 billion Rwandan francs in the construction of a world-class logistics facility at the Kigali International Airport, which will operate as an airside transit gateway. It is expected that this will improve the competitiveness of the horticulture sector and spur growth in the country. And more 600 households in Rembo Sale in Nyabihu district were recently connected to the national power grid. Residents of the sector said access to electricity will improve their incomes and living conditions since they can now operate a number of activities that require electricity like agro-processing, welding and metal works, saloon businesses and secretarial bureaus. Officials also urged them to look beyond lighting homes and start businesses that require electricity in order to improve their earnings and livelihoods. Now, just last week, Emerging Leaders and Entrepreneurs Awards was held here in Kigali in an event that attracted over 200 people who came together to celebrate all the Rwandan youth who dedicate their efforts to innovations. And of course, I have the scoop on what went down. Take a look.
It was a night of celebrations and awards fused with food, drinks, and entertainment as young Rwandan innovators and entrepreneurs converged for the Innovation Gala organized by ELA Rwanda. The event, which was held at the rooftop of the office co-working space in Kiyovu, attracted different people who include students, innovators, entrepreneurs, mentors, and investors. And this innovation by a group of high school students particularly stole the show.
We do the solar bags where you get the energy from the sun, and after to get it and to translate it to the battery, and then you can charge your phone or laptop. Usually on the smartphone, when the smartphone is to have the problems of being not charged. Yeah. Anytime that you want to charge your phone, you can just plug the charge to your phone, and then you can get the energy there.
Some of the main awards won during the event include Youth Championship Award won by the Workforce Development Authority, Innovator of the Year Award won by Patrick Buchana from Air Clark Limited, and the Peer-to-Peer Award won by Afrodis Mutangana from the Inchike app. We asked one of the winners what they felt about being honored with an award and what they did to deserve it.
Oh, well, it's exciting, but I think it's just a major step towards improving our innovation, knowing we're appreciated, and I'm very happy, but I think this belongs to many innovators out there, even those who are nominated today. I think what I did best was belong to a team. It's very hardworking. They're not here right now because they're out there trying to make ends meet, and I think that's very unique. So we had a very strong team that's very passionate about what we're doing, that dreams big, and that's very hardworking. So I owe it all to the team and God. Yeah, definitely.
The event, which sought to recognize, honor, and celebrate various innovations and creative initiatives championed by young people across the country, was started by ELE Rwanda as a means to contribute towards the development of the country by helping to empower young entrepreneurs.
ELE Rwanda came out of the passion of the youth as well, studying in the United States, and our passion was to contribute to the development of our country. And we started by doing entrepreneurship summits for the youth, Rwandan youth in the US, to bring them together and to start brainstorming about ideas. And we also organize the business plan competitions so that those ideas can be translated into projects and also to be implemented. But the initiative grew from that to become a platform for youth innovation, where we aim at advocating, showcasing young people that are creating solutions, that are looking back and want to give back, but also we celebrate institutions that are saying we want to invest, we want to encourage, we want to support young people so that they can be able to really reach their potential.
With events like these and the government giving major support to startup businesses and entrepreneurs, the Vision 2020 self-employment target will surely be achieved. Kangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
And joining us now in studio is Eve Iradukunda, the CEO and co-founder of ELE Rwanda. Welcome, Eve, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now tell us, when did you start ELE Rwanda, and how effective has it been so far? I know you've been able to acknowledge, all these entrepreneurs so far, but how effective has it been to the entrepreneurs of Rwanda?
Well, thank you so much. ELE Rwanda, like I mentioned already, grew from a passion to want to give back, to look to our society and understand what the challenges that we can solve as young people. So started 2011 as I was a student in the United States of America. I had the privilege to be part of the Presidential Scholarship Program. So we came back in the summer to do internship, and we found ourselves participating in building water wells. And from that, we realized there is a lot that we can do, we can contribute. So we started this as a movement, basically as simple as let's get together, let's start talking about the solution that we can create. And so the last 4 years actually have been very interesting because we are able to organize summits on entrepreneurship in the US. We organize business plan competitions. We organize creativity innovation camps here in Kigali, looking at bring together students from all different colleges. And it's just amazing to see the impact that this has had on ourselves, actually, as young people are participating in these activities, but also to the young people who get to participate in our programs. So I would say that the kind of impact we have been able to do is to challenge the youth in general to be involved. You need to take a step, regardless of the challenges. What you find oftentimes is that people are complaining, it's hard. Of course it's hard, and it can never be worth it if it's not out of the sweat of someone's effort. So what we have seen is actually seeing more people emerging out of that kind of dialogue and say, I want to challenge this. I want to see a result coming out of my own effort.
Now, exactly like you said, most people are not yet open to the idea of, going out there, setting out new things, new innovations. But, people are getting there slowly and steadily. But what are some of the other challenges that you've been facing so far while setting up this event?
Oh, there are many challenges, actually, because, we start this as students, so it's pretty hard because you're combining with your academic life and also being involved in different social activities, but then you add starting initiative. So that was challenging to find a balance in terms of like the management of the initiative itself, but also convincing people to buy your idea, whether it's your peers that you're trying to involve and work together, whether it's the supporters. Obviously, as a young organization, you need to raise money, you need to, to find a venue for these events, you need to just do a lot of community engagement. And so it was really hard at first to convince people that we can actually deliver on what we are presenting. So that's another challenge. Another one I would say, and it's the biggest, this one is really the biggest, is the mentality.
Yes.
And it's actually what we want to challenge in all of this. It's the fact that we are capable, we have the potential as young people to deliver solutions that can be global, not just Rwanda, solutions that can be used across the continent, because our challenges and problems are all the same, are similar. Solutions that can go beyond on the global scene, but really the challenge is the mentality, both of the youth who are not daring to try, who are not just kind of like, taking opportunities for granted and not just really stepping up. And also on the other side, the mentality of the people, I would say, who should support the youth, because it's more like, we don't know, you don't have experience, you haven't
They're
done
not risk takers yet, basically.
So, risk taking on both sides.
Okay.
So I think that's the biggest challenge, because every time we're able to tackle that challenge, we have seen tremendous results that we did not expect.
Yeah. Now, I know at the end of the day, the main purpose is you guys always acknowledge all these innovations. You always award the people who are doing a good job. But the other thing that I've noticed with our running community is people may be doing things, they may be starting really good businesses, but they don't want to be out there. They don't want the world to know about them. They like to keep it on the low and just... So what are you doing to let people know, it's good for people to know about you. It's good because it will bring you maybe investment into your business. What are you doing to encourage people to just stand out, want to stand out and let the world know they're here, let them know that they have all these amazing innovations?
What you're describing is really simply that we need more role models. We need those stories of people who hustled and found their way in doing businesses. We want those stories to come out and inspire others.
Exactly.
And actually, for an entrepreneur, that's an opportunity. When you get that kind of recognition, even just for myself being here and being able to share the work that you're doing, it's a great opportunity. That is not seen as the same way as many entrepreneurs. So we are using actually the success of the ones that we've been involved with to challenge others and to show them this is for you. So just to give an example, last year the winner of Innovator of the Year award was actually among the sponsor of this particular event. He's the CEO of Talk Limited. His name is Jean-Yves Kwagira. After winning the award last year, he got a lot of attention from investors, different partners that were looking at it as in your peers or your countrymen are recognizing you as an innovator. There have to be something unique about you and about your solution. So that opened for him or for these people to consider him, to engage and discuss with him. Obviously, he's a smart young person. I had no doubt that he will be able to make that kind of impression.
But winning this award,
winning
exposure.
This award open. So this is the same thing we can offer to all other young entrepreneurs. And I did mention this during the event. The awards are representative. This is a symbol. It's a symbolic action to encourage all other young people who are out there that are scared, are afraid to take initiative. It's our time to really be out there and work hard, but also take advantage of these opportunities.
Well, thank you very much, Yves, for coming. I'm
You're
sure an entrepreneur watching this show somewhere has been touched and will surely be doing their best, probably even get awards very soon.
Yeah, definitely, because sky's the limit, and I think that our generation, given all the opportunities that the country has laid down, I think it's just a matter of us getting out there and really taking full advantage of everything that we have.
Yeah.
And there's no better place to be right now than Rwanda, because the pace that we are moving on and the kind of the progress you are seeing, anyone who's not stepping in and doing their part, they're missing out big time.
Definitely.
So,
well, thank you very much for
you're
coming to
welcome.
the show.
Yeah.
Well, you're up to date today's business headlines. Sports news coming up next in just a minute with Arnold Crusader.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sports news. I'm Arnold Crusader. Starting with football, Rwandan League champions APR have turned their attention to the upcoming Sekafa Kagame Cup, scheduled for July the 18th to August the 2nd in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The Army side that recently settled for third place in the just concluded Peace Cup used the domestic competition as part of the preparations for the regional competition that has attracted 13 teams from 8 countries in the Confederation of Central African Football Region. APR were finalists at last year's edition in Kigali, losing to Sudan's El Marek 1-0 in the final at Amahoro Stadium, and had earlier lost to Burundi's Vitalo O 2-1 in the 23rd edition in Sudan. Moving on to Formula One, Lewis Hamilton won his third British Grand Prix in a thrilling race at the Silverstone that was the perfect antidote to criticism that Formula One had become boring. Hamilton, who temporarily slipped from pole position into third place before fighting back, timed his switch to intermediate tires to perfection when the rain started to fall in the closing laps. His victory over Mercedes teammate Nico Rosberg helped him extend his lead over his closest challenger in the World Drivers' Championship to 17 points. It also enabled him to join John Clark and Nigel Mansell as the only British drivers to have won a hat-trick of home Grand Prix. And finally, with boxing, Floyd Mayweather has been stripped of the WBO welterweight title that he won against Manny Pacquiao and has been busily called out by Anthony Modine. Mayweather missed Friday's deadline to pay $200,000 sanction fee to the WBO, and a committee voted to strip the 38-year-old of the title. It means that Timothy Bradley Jr. is expected to be crowned champion after he controversially beat Jesse Vargas for the interim title last month. Mayweather still has 14 days to appeal, but his decision is unlikely to be reversed. Mayweather is still welterweight and super welterweight champion for the WBC and WBA, even though boxers are not allowed to hold world titles in multiple weight classes.
All right, Arnold, so WBC, WBA, WBF, a lot of confusion for a lot of people out there. But what does this mean for his title acquired against Manny Pacquiao last time?
I think at this stage, Floyd Mayweather doesn't care. Because Floyd Mayweather can't fail to pay $200,000. Right. This is the man, the most paid sportsman of the year 2015 already. Right. Having earned more than $100 million from a single fight and still counting. So the $200,000 shouldn't be much to him, and I don't think he cares. It doesn't hurt for his legacy. He still has 2 titles with him. But this means more to the likes of Timothy Bradley and Anthony Modine, the former rugby star who turned the boxer, the Australian. Yeah, and you feel he has reached that stage of his career whereby he still has 1 more fight left in him, according to his contract with HBO and Showtime. And that's the fight, I think, where he's most likely going to take on either Amir Khan or give us a rematch of that Manny Pacquiao to Floyd Mayweather fight to get him more money in the past. So at this moment, Floyd Mayweather, does he care about this fight, this title for his career? I don't think so. He is yet to say anything, and he's a very vocal person. But Floyd Mayweather is also a very calculative and smart
He's a great
businessman.
Right.
Yeah, you can see it from his trade agreements and deals that he's making. Yeah, so this for his career, it won't hurt. He is the greatest pound-to-pound fighter of his era.
All right, now let's move on to someone who knows something about business as well. Lewis Hamilton just signed a great contract not too long ago, won at Silverstone. What was your take on the race?
I think Lewis Hamilton is the superstar left in Formula One. Formula One needs Lewis Hamilton more than he needs Formula One, and you could see it from the crowds that came out at the British Grand Prix. But his brain, his racing brain, is up there,
Is he on the Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, Michael Prost kind of level? Yet?
It's kind of a different era, because this era is more of the constructors.
Right, than it is of the racers.
Yeah, than it is of the racers. But when you look at individual talent, Lewis Hamilton is up there with the likes of Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel when it comes to individual talent. Nico Rosberg, I don't think, is in that bracket of individual talent. But the way he drove, I was watching the race because I watched a replay of the race. The way he drove, especially when it came down to lap 32 and lap 37, the Williams of Valtteri Bottas and Felipe Massa were ahead of him. Now, him deciding to go and into the pit stop at the ninth time, that time he had taken the lead, and these 2 Williams were coming out of the pit stops. The two Williams looked very slow, and I think he realized that now to go and get fresh tires when you only have 9 laps to go. Mercedes have always had an advantage of about 2 seconds over the Williams when it comes to the pit stops. They spend 2 seconds less. So he came out at the right time, and that was not a move that was called out, by his racing strategy team. It was his own personal move. And we saw this earlier at the Australian Grand Prix. He made these moves for himself. So Lewis Hamilton's brain, I think, is up there with maybe Fernando Alonso when it comes to individual talent and making the right decisions for himself in Formula One. And I think the Mercedes team are going to let him make more of these individual moves, which is kind of a disadvantage to a person like Nico Rosberg, who's trying to catch up with those 17 points.
Absolutely. Now let's end with local football. Now, APR headed to Dar es Salaam starting July 18th. 2 weeks of competition, the Kagame Sekafa Cup. What do you think is going to happen there?
I think APR, they've been resting their players, but I think they need to shift to see who do they need most, who do they play out. When you look at someone like Iranzi, does he start ahead of Patrick Sibomana? They have to sort out the Muji's contract issue, because Muji hasn't signed a new contract, and he has been linked with moves to Tusker Football Club in Kenya and Simba Football Club in Tanzania. Now, in the training session that took place yesterday, I had a chance to have a look at that training session. Muji wasn't in camp for the training session, so that won't stop the rumors, for us
Right,
journalists
absolutely.
to say,
Pundits are eating that up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think Muji may be out of there. He's an old horse, and you feel it's time he moved abroad. He needs to have played abroad for his career. He has been a great midfielder for APR. But when you look at the other players they have in midfield, the likes of Faustin, the likes of Eve, you feel they can do an equally good job with Yannick Mukunzi. Yannick Mukunzi is still a very dynamic midfielder. He will run to you box to boxes, and a Michael Essien kind of midfielder, but he doesn't have the maturity as yet to fill Moji's shoes. So them playing together has been an added advantage to APR, but at times you felt Moji was slowing down the team when you compare with the tempo that the team was, Dule Duse was trying to put the team to play with. Yeah, but if they miss Moji, they need his experience, especially for a tournament like the Sekafa Kagame Cup. When you look at the rivals, the teams that are going to take place, Yanga has just recruited Emmanuel Okwi, who is, a dynamic player down there in Tanzania. When you look at Tusker, Sofapaka, which they're going to play, which has the likes of Abuba, which has the likes of Faustin from Rayon Sport, also it has recruited. These teams have recruited players from all over the region who have more maturity and experience than APR Football Club. So I think APR will be lucky to get into the semi-finals of this tournament.
All right, Arnold. Always great. A lot of knowledge you're preaching here. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. News are up next. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
His Excellency President Paul Kagame has praised Millennium Development Goals for their role in creating global partnerships and improving the quality of life in developing countries at the Global Summit on Education for Development in Oslo, Norway. MDGs have 8 measurable targets aimed at addressing extreme poverty and promoting gender equality, education, and environmental sustainability. Significant progress has been made across all goals, and global efforts to achieve the MDGs have saved the lives of millions and improved conditions for many around the world. Rwanda is among the few countries in the world which achieved and surpassed most of the set targets.
Members of the private sector have so far contributed more than 800 million Rwandan francs towards a campaign to raise 1.2 billion Rwandan francs bailout for General Karenzi Karake. The campaign has been named Ishema Wachu, Our Nation, Our Pride. General Karake was arrested in the UK while on an official visit following an arrest warrant issued by a Spanish judge in 2008 against 40 former officers of the Rwandan Patriotic Army. He is currently out on bail and is due to appear back in the Westminster Court for his extradition hearing in September. The Ishema Wachu Fund was launched by members of the PSF on June 26th.
And in regional news, leaders of the East African community have called for the immediate disarmament of Imbonerakure, a paramilitary youth group allied to Burundi's ruling party CNDD-FDD. This is one of the resolutions from the third Emergency EAC Heads of State Summit on the situation in Burundi in 2 months held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Many Burundian refugees have cited intimidation and attacks from the Imbonerakure as the main reason they left the country. Over 140,000 Burundians have fled across the border to neighboring countries over the last 2 months, with nearly 50,000 of them fleeing to Rwanda. The summit appointed President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda as the new mediator following a stalemate in talks between the government and the opposition after the parties questioned the impartiality of UN mediators.
And in international news, at least 20 people have been killed in a bomb attack in the northern Nigerian city of Zaria. A suspected suicide bomber targeted civil servants at a government building in the city. Militant Islamist group Boko Haram, which often targets northern Nigeria, has stepped up attacks since President Muhammadu Buhari took office in May. It came a day after Police Chief Solomon Arase announced new measurements to curb the rise in bombings. More than 200 people were killed in attacks blamed on Boko Haram last week. Okay, lots more still to come. Lifestyle is up next. Plus, we take a look at what's hot right now in our daily debate section. Hot topics. We'll be right back.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwanda and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda Lifestyle now. Makeda, what do you have for us?
I have some really exciting new, I'll call them artists in town.
They're artists in their own way,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh,
okay, all right.
Future Vision is their name and high flips and human pyramids is their game. This group of young acrobats is taking over the Rwandan kids entertainment scene, and when it comes to their work ethic, they're definitely not clowning around. Take a look. The circus is coming to Kigali. With fun, colorful outfits and truly captivating stunts in their act, Future Vision Acrobats is bringing a whole new aspect to fun family entertainment here in Rwanda.
I learned it in Gisenyi by myself, and after that I could go to Sweden and Belgium to learn more skills about acrobatics and circus. I wanted to see what we had the future and vision, so that's why we called our project the Future Vision Acrobat. So we wanted to see the vision for the future through what we do, and then we were creating work so everybody can be able to develop in the future.
With a troupe of less than 10 members, this group of flexible artists is building an industry of circus entertainment in the country. A big part of this involves Future Vision providing a place for anyone interested to learn their trade for free.
Well, the message that I can give to the young people is, and the Rwandans and the people all over the world, is that the Rwandans could give, the Rwandan parents could give the chance for their children, and they used to love artistic. So they could come to the artistic, because an artist is it's like a unique talent that we are given. Through the opportunities that are here in Rwanda, we should use it to create more jobs, more works, more tangible things, so that everyone can have a better life and the hope for a better future.
With great skill, agility, and balance, these acrobats acts delight all who witness their show, bringing anxious butterflies to tummies with their gravity-defying tricks and smiles to faces with their flawless dismounts. This type of work clearly takes much hard work and physical strength. We caught up with the only girl on the squad to see what it's like for a lady acrobat in such a new industry.
nk'ibijyamo abantu baransetse bakajya batuma nsubira inyuma nyine bakambwira byinshi bakambwira ko ntabishobora, ariko nasanze byoroshye kubera ko numvaga mbishaka. Acrobacy mu Rwanda kuri partire y'abakobwa iracyari hasi, ariko abahungu ubona nta kibazo.
So does all that mean there's a future for this type of entertainment in Rwanda?
What I can tell to the people who are rich and the people who have these big companies that can invest their money into the circus planet, because the circus, there are more opportunities. If you want to be a rich man, more, just try it once in acrobatics, and then you're gonna see what you'll be. It's a big wow.
Definitely something to consider. Here's to the future of this fun, flourishing troupe. Makeda Mahario, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Well, that's a mix of a lot of things. I mean, it's a mix of, you have to use your body a lot, but you also have to use your mind a lot. I mean, what got you to want to do this report?
Well, I had never heard about acrobats in Rwanda before.
Right.
And in fact, this is the first actual proper acrobat troupe, I guess you could call them, in Rwanda. So I was like, I have to cover them. And actually they're very good. You know, we didn't get too much footage of them doing too many high flips and things like that, but they're quite good. They've performed out of the country before, and they kind of mix, you know, clowning, you know, with the juggling and stuff like that, and then acrobatics where they're flipping and they're doing the pyramids and stuff like that. And it's really interesting. It's fun for the kids. It's fun for the whole family. And you know, here in Rwanda, there are more and more things coming up for kids to do, but there's not that much yet for just kids' entertainment, you know what I mean? So I always love when there's something else that's geared for the whole family to enjoy.
For those that would love to actually go and see them do their thing, where should they go?
Well, they have different events, so you just have to kind of look out to where they're going to be performing next, I suppose. But I think they practice in Gisenyi, and they come to Kigali all the time. There's always different events. And what I actually really, really like about this troupe is that they welcome anyone.
Right.
So if I'm just a young person or an older person, anyone who, wants to get involved or is interested, or I feel like I'm flexible enough, I suppose, I can just go there and I can join the group. They'll train me, and, I can just join. And I think that's really, really good. It's something, it can inspire someone who maybe they thought, I have a certain talent, but I don't know how to challenge it. I don't know how to use it. So I think it's something really cool. And like you said, it's something to invest in, I suppose.
Absolutely. And to think certain people say there's not enough things to do in Kigali. That's one of them.
There you
They can
go.
actually go
There you go. They do classes. They have like summer camps for kids and things like that. So, if you're looking for something for your kids, that's another thing that they can join in and do.
All right. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay tuned. Hot Topics is up next. Welcome back, and it's that Hot Topics time again. As always, the Rise and Shine Rwanda team have been out and about, gathering everything you need to know about what's happening here in Rwanda and abroad, from what's trending on Twitter to the debates in your local cafe. We've got it for you right here, right now. All right, guys, so this is, I guess we can say, it's great news coming out of Kampala, out of Entebbe. This lady, who's now 81 years old, I will think during the struggle, which was 21 years ago, and going back, she was end of her 50s, early 60s. This lady, by the name of Eufrazika Kindi, helped the Rwandan struggle a lot. Back then, it was the Rwandan Patriotic Army. She helped them a lot by, giving them shelters, by actually helping them cross the border, giving them food and other supplies. And now, the Rwanda Defense Force, RDF, has gone to Entebbe, and their attaché there, the military attaché at the High Commission in Kampala, went to see this lady and told her that they were going to build a 3-bedroom residential home as a way of thanking her for what she did between 1990 and 1994. What do you guys think about that story?
It's beautiful.
Great news,
I think it's great. I think there's nothing to add on that.
Seriously.
And RDF has done that. Like the past week, they gave back about 250 million Rwandan francs to different people
in Uganda.
Yeah, in Uganda, who helped them during the liberation struggle. They gave them household items. Some were given cows. And it's a very good gesture. You don't forget where you came from.
It's great, right? Especially when people know some of our I guess soldiers were fighting in Mozambique before they fought in Uganda. You know the story really well. So for them to actually liberate Uganda, and then Uganda remembering that and making sure that they get to liberate their country too later on, I think it's a great story. It doesn't happen all the time.
Not a common story, but a great story nonetheless.
Definitely. One of those feel-good stories.
Absolutely. Well, we want to know your stories, so don't forget to let us know what your thoughts, comments, and feedback are on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us on Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us your ideas for program. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports we do on a daily basis. Follow us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We'd love to see your pics. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's show, but don't forget we love to hear your feedback, so let us know if you have any ideas. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Makeda Mahario.
And me, Regis Isheja. We'll be here same time, same place tomorrow, so make sure you join us. But for now, from the two of us, this great, beautiful team over here, have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.